In his address to the nation, President Obama painted an agonizing picture of chemical warfare in Syria.
The images from this massacre are sickening. Men, women, children lying in rows, killed by poison gas. Others foaming at the mouth, gasping for breath. A father clutching his dead children, imploring them to get up and walk.
The words are powerful, and yet not many outsiders have actually witnessed a chemical weapons attack. Our own Rich Brooks is one of the few exceptions. Back in 1988, he brought his unflinching camera to the Kurdish village of Halabja, where Saddam Hussein unleashed a lethal chemical cocktail on his own people. He killed about 5,000 people, and he left 10,000 more scarred for life. Rich recorded that atrocity in unforgettable images that resonate especially today as the world confronts the Assad regime's use of chemical weapons on innocent children. And he joins me now from Atlanta. Rich, thank you for being with me. You're one of CNN's longest serving and most talented cameramen, so I'm really pleased to have you. I want to know what it was like when you first went to Halabja. What did you feel? What did you sense? What did you think when you got to this terrible, terrible scene?
Well, we weren't sure what we were going to see exactly, but what I remember vividly was entering the village and just how still and silent it was. Initially, we saw birds on the ground, and then we saw cattle and sheep, and then we turned a corner into a street that was just full of bodies. And you've seen it before, and the smell was overwhelming. And as we walked through there, you just couldn't believe the scope of what it was. And it was most likely the worst thing I've seen in my career.
Well, I was going to ask you, because you have covered so many wars and so much hell on this earth, what made it the worst thing that you'd ever seen? And it was before I was a correspondent. I didn't see that, but the images are seared into my mind and into anybody's mind. What made it so bad?
Well, they're seared into my mind as well, because these were civilians. These were women, children, older people. They were not combatants, and they were just dead where they fell. They were in their houses, sitting on sofas, dead. In the street, there's that image of the woman clutching her child, trying to take shelter in her house, I can imagine. And recently, there was an image I saw that just brought all those images back to me, and in such a way that I couldn't help but think of Halabja, the video of the animals piled high, and that's exactly what we saw in Halabja.
When you saw what was revealed finally in Syria after August 21st, you say it brought all the memories of Halabja back. Could you ever have imagined, after actually bearing witness to that attack in 1988, that this would happen again?
Well, it's hard to believe 25 years later that the world has seen this happen again. And I wonder if we are going to do anything, because just a short 2.5 years after Halabja, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, as we all know, and we know what happened after that. But it's still unbelievable that these weapons are used, even somebody thinking about using them in such a way, because they do affect the civilian population much more so than the battlefield.
And so many people simply don't want to look. Tell me why you think it's important that you go there, that you take your camera, and everybody else does.
Well, I think if journalists don't go and tell these stories, now with the advent of the internet and how quickly information travels, we don't always go there. But in 1988, we had to go there to take these images and bring those pictures back and show the world. And nowadays, it happens so quickly, and so should the response, I believe. People need to see this, and we need to not sanitize it when it's aired on TV, and let people know exactly what's going on.
You're absolutely right. Rich, thank you so much indeed for your special, special account. And
you
and we have kept the spotlight on. And perhaps President Obama said it best in his speech last night, and I quote, "When dictators commit atrocities, they depend on the world to look the other way until those horrifying pictures fade from memory. But these things happened," he said. "The facts cannot be denied."